And, I would like to introduce the ILG, not only on the police force, not only the LGU, but we are more on the governance reforms. It is in this respect that for food security as the one of the important and primordial goals of the president of this leadership, the ILG is of support to really strengthen local institutions. One of which, of course, is the rationalization of our permits, rationalization of fees for our UBRA brothers and sisters, for our vendors, for our fish associations, as well as other players of our food logistical support system. The LGUs have local autonomy, but we want them to be like more or less supportive of the local economy as well as the recovery programs, of course, of the government. Similarly, we have the PNP, the BFP and BJMP law enforcers. We can tap, or we have the good secretary instructed them to be more of policing. Okay, in terms against suspect hoarders, and of course those enterprises that have commodity prices unconscionable or really unreasonable. And the ILG, as part of its governance reforms, would like also to incentivize innovations of local government units. That's why we have the SGLG Incentive Fund, the Local Government Support Fund, as well as other assistance to our local government units, putting primacy food security projects or initiatives. This will form part of our policy development effort to really bring to the consciousness of today's leadership, particularly our local chief executives, to really put on their priority list food security initiatives for food production, supply, marketing, access, and infra support as well. Finally, we would like to report that our local government units have indeed demonstrated excellent, if not good practices, best practices in the light of food security. One of which is the municipality of Pidig, Ilocos Norte. Am I right? Ilocos Norte. To farming system, okay? Tapping all sectors to produce quality, quantity, more quantity, as well as increased income for our farmers. We have also one barangay in the municipality or in the province of Rizal that really had shown commitment and leadership in terms of propagating food security at the household level. QC Grow is also a good example of urban planting or gardening. And of course, Bro Project of Isabela is one that's really very sustainable. That's all about it.
Wow, thank you so much, Yusek Pasaraba, especially for the case studies that you had mentioned. Very nice stories. Thank you. Department of Agrarian Reform, Secretary, the President aims to boost local agricultural production. How is the DAR helping realize this goal?
Oh yes, the very early steps that we have taken is that we have provided so much farm-to-market roads, and especially bridges, so that our agrarian reform beneficiaries can have access to their farms. And we too have aggressively and have accelerated the distribution of titles to our farmers. So that means that there are additional lands now that are being used by our farmers, and this translates to more food being produced by our farmers. And in the future, what we are doing now is that we are laying down the groundwork so that we can further boost food security here in our country. And we are about to embark on what we call the black and white revolution. Yung black and white revolution, yan ay ang kalabaw, kulay itim, at ang kanyang gatas na kulay puti. Kaya black and white revolution. Because when we hired data scientists, how we could increase the income of the farmers and how we can contribute in food production. Ang nakalagay doon ay kailangan bigyan natin ng livestock ang ating mga agrarian reform beneficiaries. So yan ang gagawin namin, and we will also encourage our agrarian reform beneficiaries na magkaroon sila ng mga tinatawag na plant once and eat forever. To engage in plant once and eat forever. Katulad halimbawa ng malunggay, kanina lang ka-meeting namin yung mga nag-spearhead ng malunggay at we will engage in propagation and distribution of these plants. Malunggay, meron kang yung fruit, meron kang yung leaves, and by the way, yung malunggay pala, nagkaroon ng famine somewhere in Africa. And those who were able to survive were those who had malunggay plants. And then, bamboo. Sa China, marami nang nagtatanim dati ng palay, nag-switch sila sa bamboo. Mas malaki ang kita nila sa bamboo, may lumber sila, at meron pa silang bamboo shoots. Tapos, yung tinatawag na bago sa Malaysia, ang tawag dyan, melinjo. Yan mga yan. Yung katuday, sa amin mga Ilocano, kilala yan. Yan sila Yusek Leo, Sebastian, yan sila Administrator Gillian. Yung mga katulad naming Ilocano, kabisado namin yan. Sila Secretary, ating Secretary ng DPWH, si Manny Bonoan, at ganun din ang ating NEDA. Kilala nila yan mga gulay na yan, na minsan lang itatanim, ngunit pitas ka ng pitas, kain ka ng kain. Yan mga yan na ano. And there are other things, and we are introducing to our agrarian reform beneficiaries new technology. Katulad halimbawa, itong tinatawag na rimas, o sa English ay breadfruit, na siyang staple food ng mga Polynesian. Sa Polynesia, alam ninyo, napakababa ang incidence ng diabetes sapagkat hindi sila kumakain masyado ng kanin. Ang kanilang staple food ay itong tinatawag na breadfruit or rimas. Pero mahirap i-propagate ito. And the way to do it is using using tissue culture laboratories. At nabigay na ang agrarian reform sa mga agrarian reform beneficiaries ng tissue culture laboratories upang mag-propagate kami ng mga pananim na minsanan lang ang tanim, ngunit habang buhay ka namimitas at habang buhay ka pinapakain. Kaya yan ang mga ginagawa namin ngayon. And we hope to develop and work hand in hand also with the Department of Science and Technology. At yan nga ang pinagmamaritesan namin dalawa kanina ni Secretary, na yung menu nila ng bagong teknolohiya. At yan ay introduce namin sa atin mga magsasaka. Katulad halimbawa na bakit hindi natin gamitin sa ating mga feeding program, no? Yung malunggay, very nutritious yan. At gamitin din natin, mag-umpisa rin tayong mag-alaga ng rabbit. Alam niyo, umattend ako ng rabbit convention about 5 years ago. Magmula nun, ako rin ay nag-alaga ng rabbit at ngayon ay ako'y namimigay ng rabbit. Nung una, marami nagsasabi, alam nyo kasi ang rabbit, napakabilis dumami ng rabbit. Meron akong alaga dun sa probinsya, ang dami-dami ngayon. At pinapatikim ko sa atin mga kababayan, nagugustuhan naman nila. Ito lang ang nakukuha kong komento, ang sinasabi ng iba, ang hirap naman kainin yan, sabi nila. Ang cute-cute. sabi ko naman sa kanila, nanood kayo ng Babe, yung biik, hindi ba? Nanonood kayo ng mga Disney characters, merong manok. O yung Babe, sinasabi ninyo, ang cute-cute ng baboy. Kain naman kayo ng kain ng lechon, hindi ba? Pero yung rabbit, si Bugs Bunny, hindi naman talaga cute hindi ba? Pagkatapos, kain tayo ng kain ng manok. Pag kinakatay yung manok, ang ingay-ingay. Hindi ba? Yung rabbit, pag kinatay mo, wala namang kibo. Hindi ba? Sino ang nakakaawang katayin ngayon? Yung manok o yung rabbit? Hindi ba? Kaya, we should open our minds and we start it with the next generation of Filipinos. Bakit sa France? Bakit sa Amerika? Kumakain sila ng rabbit. At isa ito sa mga inaalagaan ng mga magsasaka. Ang liit-liit na lugar lang ang kailangan. Samantalang kung meron kang, hindi ko sinasabing huwag tayong mag-alaga ng manok o kahit ano-paano. Ngunit, kasi kapag nag-alaga tayo ng rabbit, ang liit na lugar ang kailangan at maliit lang ang kapital. At walang sakit. Kapag nag-alaga ka naman ng manok, kung nakawala yan sa iyong bakuran, mabilis ka dumami, ngunit pag dinaanan ng peste, patay silang lahat. O pag dinaanan ng kapitbahay mo na mahilig din sa manok, patay din silang lahat. So, yan mga bagay na yan ay ini-introduce natin sa atin mga agrarian reform beneficiaries. Unti-unti, nakikinig naman sila. Unti-unti natin na binubuksan ang kanilang mata sa mga pwedeng kainin na dati-dati ay hindi naman natin binibigyan ng pansin. So, yan. Ito ang mga ginagawa natin ng agrarian reform ngayon.
Thank you, Secretary Estrella. I don't know if I'll look at a rabbit the same way again. I'll always remember you na. Okay, let's move on.
I will let you taste it.
Oh, okay.
I will cook it myself. And
I have
will
an
let
open
you
mind.
taste it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we shall try that one day. Let's move on to DOST again. This is our final question, I believe. It was said that 2 satellites have been launched into space. What kind of information can these provide, and how is this beneficial to food production?
Aside from the 2 recently launched microsatellites and the existing operational satellite that we have, we also use other satellites where we download data for various purposes. Of course, DOST is known for developing technologies to be applied, but we also conduct research and development on how these technologies, especially space application technologies, can be done. For example, can be used for food security. So for example, we can use satellite images to characterize water and soil characteristics. Soil health is a big problem now, especially soil erosion. So we should actually do an inventory of all of those areas. And we need to prevent soil erosion, and we can monitor this using satellite. Second, we need water for the growth of plants. So if we can combine remote sensing or space images together with ground-based data, then we can look at when to irrigate, because we can sense the soil moisture, and Pag-asa can actually do a climate forecast that is provided to our agricultural community. We can monitor the agricultural production. When there's a disaster, we can immediately have a reconnaissance of which areas were damaged. So we can actually use remote sensing images. And by the way, we can also use remote sensing images to monitor the farm-to-market road and the bridges that the 2 secretaries mentioned. So, meron din po kaming i-monitor kung ang progress po ay pwede po natin gamitin para yung progress niyo po ay madaling masundan. Hindi po espionage yun, kundi monitoring. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary Solidum. This has been a very interesting discussion. I wish we could go on. Thank you. Maraming salamat sa ating mga panelists. At ang ating food security cluster ay siyang namamahala sa pagpapatupad ng mga direktiba ni President Marcos Jr. pagdating sa pagkain. para ang bawat Pilipino ay magkaroon ng sapat, masustansya at abot-kayang pagkain sa kanilang mga mesa. Yan ang bagong Pilipinas. Join us again tomorrow for the second day of our 2023 Post-SONA discussions. We will have with us the following clusters: poverty reduction at 12, environmental protection and disaster management at 2 p.m., and good governance, peace, and security at 4 p.m. This has been Daphne Osenya Paez. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon in the 2023 Post-SONA discussions.